Hello guys, Jeff Butler. Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm bringing you a pretty unique tank. This is the Soviet T-60 light tank. It was designed in 1938. It was meant to replace the T-38 light amphibious tank. It entered production in 1941. It was produced throughout 41 and 1942 until it was stopped and replaced by the T-70 and other better vehicles. And this tank is pretty interesting. Surprisingly, a huge number was made, over 5,000 of these, in such a short time period. The T-60 utilizes a 20 millimeter Soviet autocannon. It's basically just a repurposed aircraft cannon used as a ground ball. The crew is two, the driver and the gunner. And the actual effectiveness of this tank was pretty bad in real life. It was so bad that it gained the nickname of a coffin for two brothers or something. Now, in War Thunder, when you play this in a video game, it's pretty good. Pretty trolly. The autocannon's nice. But in real life, when you have a crew too, and when you take into account like actually being inside of it, not a good vehicle at all. And the Soviets hated it. The Germans actually were indifferent about it. When they captured these, they usually converted them into ammunition carriers or like towing vehicles, just as like a workhorse, and they just removed the turret. So that's kind of funny. And I guess also when you're fighting this, like if it's so easy to take out, you're not really gonna hate it. So, and this did see action all the way up to the end of the war. Initially, they were kind of used more aggressively, but later, when they stopped production, they shifted these into proper reconnaissance units and actually used them as scout tanks, and which this should have been in the first place. This has two interesting variants. Actually three interesting variants. We'll get to the third one. So the first variant was like a rocket, basically just a turret replaced with a rocket launcher. A few were made, not much. And then the second variant is the famous or infamous flying tank. That did not work out well at all. It's a funny meme though. And the third variant of this was a Romanian modified T-60 into like a prototype tank destroyer, which is really interesting. It's pretty cool. And it's just kind of a weird addition to the T-60 story. But yeah, this is my build for the T-60 light tank. Just building up my Soviet army. This build was really fun. I used like some new techniques, and it was really fun trying to get the this angle here. And also it rolls pretty well. I'll show that later. I think I captured the angles and the details really well. Designing the turret was kind of annoying because it's so small, but the most annoying part with this build was the front driver's cabin right here in the front. I had to like play around with that so much, and it was super annoying, until I eventually just gave up and just went with that basic design. In reality, the driver's cab on the front should be a little wider. That's like a little smaller than it actually should be, but I went with that design because it's just way easier to do, way more simple. And all my other attempts didn't work. But yeah, so this is the T-60, and anyways, let's get right to the comparisons. Alright, so here's the T-60. It's a pretty low tank, um, good for scouting purposes. Um, and the rollability on this is good. You can see that it moves very well. Um, I can even sometimes like get it to roll on a hard surface. This is not really a good surface, but when I move it on my own, it definitely rolls. So that's awesome. The turret also rotates. However, kind of got to put some uh, strength into it because it's just a stud connected to a Technic brick, and it actually came loose there. Not the best design, but it's certainly good enough for me. And of course, the gun goes up and down. Literally just a hinge piece. The turret can go 360. And yeah, so let's get some minifigs. So here's a Soviet tanker. Sorry for that accent. And I think the scale looks really good. Here's a Soviet soldier, just right in front there. Man, this tank is so low that it's kind of hard to get like a good camera angle. But yeah, that's how minifigs look next to it. I think it looks really good. And take these away. And this is 1/35th scale, of course, as always. Alright, so let's do our first vehicle comparison. So the first vehicle to compare here is my T-34 model of 1940. Now, in real life, these tanks would actually be fighting side by side with each other. They were both available during Operation Barbarossa and during the Battle of Moscow, Operation Typhoon. So I will bet more than enough money that these two tanks were there together in the thick of it. I really don't have an equivalent tank to compare to the T-60. I would think the most similar tank to the T-60 would be the Panzer II, but the Panzer II does have a crew of 3, and it entered service way earlier, and it was a better tank overall. But yeah, don't really have much to compare there. Just showing two vehicles that would be serving together. And then the next vehicle comparison is the Panzer IV-E right here, the winter version. And this is very much the tank that this would be fighting. So these two also definitely probably fought each other. And you can just see, like, the light tank versus the German medium tank. And you can really just see how low this is. Like, it is insane, like, how low this tank is. It's just like a little troll of a tank or something. But of course, when you're going for like a crazy design like that in a tank, you're gonna sacrifice crew ergonomics. Like, is it comfortable being in this tank? Probably not. The Soviet tankers hated it. So yeah, that's just like interesting. But yeah, anyways, this is going to be the end of the video. Just a pretty short video for today. I have been trying to upload way more consistently now because I am actually getting pretty close to being able to make money off of YouTube, joining the partnership program. I have enough subscribers. I literally just need the watch hours. And lately, like, ever since I've been pumping out more content, it's been shooting up like crazy. And it'll be pretty cool if I can make more money on the side so I can fund this and I can get even more cool content out. But yeah, anyways, this is going to be the end of the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.